This is my car. It's a 2007 Mercury Grand Marquis, about 160,000 miles or 257,000 kilometers on it. I got this for free from my grandfather. He gave it to me a few years ago after my grandmother passed away. Didn't have a need for it, so it became mine. It's my first car. It's definitely a little on the older side. It kind of looks like an old grandpa car, which is half the reason why I love it. Some of the features on this car include a cassette player, which I have not used. I have used a CD player though. It doesn't have Bluetooth or anything like that. It does have leather seats, heated seats, sunroof, but my favorite feature is probably the buttons on the door that you can use to unlock and lock the vehicle. Super handy for going for like a bike or a run from your vehicle, putting everything in there, locking it, and then you don't have to bring a key or worry about that. It actually was a pretty high-end vehicle at the time. It's a little old now, but there are some pretty sweet features. Actually a pretty nice V8, about 280 horsepower engine, which is sweet, but definitely guzzles the gas just a little bit. My favorite part about this car though is the amount of space it has. So I can put an entire bike in the back seat, usually without even taking off the front wheel, which is super convenient. As you can see in the back seat, there is quite a lot of scuffs on it, some bike grease, because I don't think anyone's actually sat back there for quite some time. It's just been for bikes. The trunk also has a ton of room. And right now I have a whole bunch of crap just stored in there, but it can store another couple bikes in the trunk if you take them apart. Look at all the stuff that I've got jammed in here. I've got 2 golf bags full of clubs, a bunch of wood rounds from my wedding, a bunch of bags of clothes and stuff I just haven't sorted out, part of a lawnmower, some boots. Just pretty well, that's the main storage capacity I've got for my house, is my trunk. Pretty awesome Triathlete car. It's in a little bit of rough shape. There's some rust spots that I've painted over with rust paint over the years to try to keep it at bay, but it's kind of gotten the better of it. And unfortunately, with the salt we get here in Canada in the winters, it just keeps getting a little bit worse each year. But I think I'm gonna ride this car out for a couple more years. And unfortunately, it doesn't have much value, so there'd be no point in me selling it. So I'm just gonna see how long she can last.
Hello, this is my car. It is a 2017 Subaru Crosstrek. The color is, I'm not really sure what the color is. It's somewhat green, somewhat brownish, khaki we'll call it, something like that. I have no idea what the horsepower is of the engine. I do know that once I get it up to speed, it's a pretty zippy car, so it is fun to drive. One big imperfection with this car is the hail damage that's on the top as well as on the side of the car. And I have not fixed it yet just because of pure procrastination and not caring that much. As you can see, I do not keep my car very clean nor picked up. It's probably one of the messiest areas of my life, and I'm okay with that. And as you can see, I always have swim gear in the car. Another one of my favorite things about this car is the heated seats, because I'm always cold. One of my favorite things about this car is that it has a hatchback trunk, which was a deal breaker for me when getting a new car because of all the putting a bike in and out that I do before races and when training and everything. So that's one of my favorite features. Here we have all the things I've been saying I will take to Goodwill for probably a couple months that I have not, as well as Nespresso pods. Those always just seem to live in here for a long time as well.
What's up? I'm Lisa Becharas, and this is my car. It is a 2014 Jeep Patriot that I bought with the help of my dad, because you can't walk into those car dealers without a dad. And I actually bought it new. It was the first car I've ever purchased on my own. Growing up, we always had, my parents bought us cars from the municipal auctions, the police municipal auctions. So this is a big step up. I don't know how many horsepowers, but probably a lot. There is no four-wheel drive, and it has really shitty tires on it, so it's pretty much useless for the winter. Also, because I was 24 at the time, and $1,500, it was a lot of money. It's still a lot of money. I did not purchase power locks and windows, so this is how, you know, old school we get into the car. And here you go. This is the inside of the car. It is super, obviously I keep it like very tidy all the time. These seats are never actually up, so I don't actually drive more than one person around at a time. Another really important feature is my headrest. This happened at some point a couple years ago, and I don't know what's wrong with it, but I think it like jacks up my posture while I drive. I should probably take it to the Jeep dealer, but that hasn't been a priority of mine. And this is the back of my car, super exciting. I got this car wreck when I moved out to Colorado, and fun story, if you actually look at this over here, I accidentally let it drag on the highway for a numerous amount of miles, and it got really messed up. So it gives my bike rack some quality, or some character. And so I can actually put 3 bikes in my car, maybe 4, 1 or 2 inside, 2 on the bike rack. I have a toasted marshmallow goo gel that's probably expired by like 3 or 4 years, but you never know when you need an emergency. I think I have a couple of scrapers because we do live in Colorado and that's important. I also have a random hat, which I haven't seen in probably since last winter, so I'm gonna take this inside. And this is probably the most exciting part of my car, is that I actually have a collection of medals. I don't know when this started or why this started, but I think after some random races, I was like, I don't know what to do with these medals. And so I just stuck them right there, and now there's been a collection, and it's a great talking point for when I drive people around. They're like, why do you have medals? And I'm obviously like, because I want to show off and let you know that I've finished a 5K before. It's an MRI. I probably have 2 MRIs. So you never know when you have to go to the doctor and bring MRIs. I have a baton. Sorry, Illinois Wesleyan, I probably took this at some point, but you never know when you might need it to have a relay with your friends. But yeah, you know, that's pretty much my car. I've also been looking for this club, so I'm happy we did this. Things to do, but yeah, this is my life. I live organized chaos, but this car has over 100,000 miles, and it gets the job done. But yeah, thanks for checking out my car with me.
Alright, this is my 2014 Chevy Silverado. It's a 1500 crew cab with the 7-foot bed. It's got the 5.3 liter V8 in it, which means 355 horsepower, more than Jack's V8 that he's got in his little car. But she's built in Flint, Michigan. Bought her when she was new in 2014, and yeah, she's been with me, I guess that's most of my triathlon career, definitely my entire pro triathlon career. So a few things I did to her. Right now she's actually got the winter tires on because it's a beautiful day in the Midwest, and there was snow on the ground, so we got those girls on for the winter coming up. And then that bow tie, I painted that bow tie black just to match all the black trim and stuff, because it is an LT model, so there's no chrome or anything on there. But the inside, the best part about having the crew cab is when Jack does come along, we can put his bikes in the back and not take a wheel off as well. And then the 7-foot bed as well is really nice because I can just lay down any bikes. We've gotten up to 4 bikes in there without taking any wheels off. One thing, when I was like, I'm gonna get a truck, and I don't want to take the darn wheel off my bike if I'm getting a truck, to put it into the truck bed. So yeah, it's pretty nice. She's got about 120,000 miles on it, and I've had to really, there's not much I've had to do. I replaced the starter in her the other day. That was just with the cold weather, it was starting to be a little slow, so I swapped that out, and that's pretty much all I've done to her. Right now, she's super messy, so I take the dog to daycare in it probably about 3 times a week. So in the back seat, it's covered in hair, and there's nose prints on all of the windows. And you see that swim bag back there? That lives there. Those are all my swim toys. That just lives there year round. That way I never forget it, because if it's not in there, I do forget it every time. And then, yeah, the bed of the truck is really where stuff just goes to die. There's a basket in there. I mean, I got my tow ropes and my jumper cables back there. And then everything else, I mean, there's sandbags back there because it is the winter. Trying to get some weight in there. I think I've got the sweetest ride on the team. I love this thing. This is my baby. Like I said, I've had her since she was new. I know it's tight between this guy and Jack's car, Nick's Porsche. I mean, you know, there's nothing special about that. So one day you'll see all three of us race in our cars.
Hey, how's it going? Nicholas Chase, and this is my Porsche Cayenne GTS. Of course, what else is there to say? It's fast, it's a Porsche. Why do I love this car? Well, let's just say I had my eye on it for a few years because I bought it from a friend, and when the opportunity arose when he was going to get rid of it, I had to just say yes. I would have preferred to probably kept my truck since I could go off-road, go camping. But this also has some great features. I can change the suspension level so I can go off-road if I want to. It's all-wheel drive, super fast. It's nice for going up and down the canyons. The interior is really well done. I, of course, didn't design it, but it's probably the nicest car I've ever had with an interior, I guess, kind of plush. It doesn't really suit a triathlete's lifestyle in terms of not caring if you keep it nice or not. I want to keep my car super, super nice. So I have a detail at least once a month. I keep the interior super clean at all time. And as a kind of like team request, I asked everyone to just have their car as is. So I haven't washed my car in a few days. The inside is the way it always looks. And I can store my swim bag in there all the time. That's really the only thing that's always in my car is my swim gear, so I never leave it behind. I have a bike rack I can put on for when I need to go take the bikes places. Other than that, I've got snow tires for when it gets really icy up and I want to go to the mountains for backcountry skiing. I mean, honestly, it's like an all-around great car for me. The storage is great. It's quiet on the inside. It's fast. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles since it's a few years older. It just hit 100,000 miles, and I have a really good warranty up until about 140,000, so I'm feeling pretty good that the car is going to last. And of course, the oil changes are expensive, and nothing's really gone too wrong on it. Just had to repair a window mechanism, which was obviously expensive enough for a car. But I'm waiting for a Tesla one day. That's kind of what I'm waiting for. Is my next purchase. Might be in another couple years if it's finally ever ready. But this is it. Hope you like it. My favorite parts about this car are when it starts up. And when you put it in sport mode, and when you just drive it, there's like a little notch on the gas pedal that goes to like a little bit more extra horsepower. I love this car, and anyone who's had a Porsche Cayenne, I talked to them beforehand and they said they're just bomb-proof great cars. So that was why I was like, I'm willing to make the investment. So this is my car. I hope you like it. And if you ever come to St. George, I'll race you. And I'm gonna race Garrick and Jackson after they've been talking crap, especially Garrick.
This is my triathlon car. It is a 2016 Volkswagen Tiguan that I got last year used. It had about 40,000 kilometers on it when I bought it, and now has just over 90,000 kilometers. So I use it quite a bit. Chris lent me the money to buy it, and I'm almost finished paying him off, but not quite. I think by early in the new year, it will be completely my car. So my main criteria was to find an affordable car that could fit a lot of bicycles, and I think that this does a great job. I like that it is still small enough that it's really easy to park and move around, but I can fit quite a few bicycles in it. Right now it has Chris's road bike and my TT bike because we just come to his parents for Christmas. Yeah, it has some other gear. There's some swim gear. I usually have a tax act or two in here because I find myself sort of moving around the province these days to different appointments or training and trying to stuff a little bit of work between that sometimes. So we have the excise tax act in the passenger seat. I also have lots of snacks stuffed everywhere, some bike nutrition, some other snacks. More snacks. I'm desperately afraid of running out of food on the go, so lots of options there. Chris really likes the sunroof. I honestly never notice it. He's a very tall person and seems to notice things like that more often. I basically could care less that it's there. But I do like having heated seats because I am often swimming early in the morning. And I think one of my favorite features is that my phone can connect wirelessly. So I can sort of talk on the phone while I'm driving. I multitask a lot by using the hands-free phone in my car, and that's the main time that I catch up with my coach Suzanne and we plan training and stuff like that. I think the last thing, when we were putting these videos together, Nick gave us strict instructions that we weren't supposed to clean our cars, and the thing that comes to my mind every time that was brought up is this horrible little bit of cat litter, clean cat litter, that's pocketed there that I've been meaning to vacuum up for honestly 6 months, and that's just from transporting my cat Opal around. And I think I'm being a very good sport by sharing it. I will probably go and get a vacuum as soon as I'm finished this video. But yeah, I'm very good at time management and being organized about time, but I'm not always tidy about things.